such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart? Open your your heart right here on VCMG, on the oldie station. And we are connecting to Spirit at 866-972-7247. You might say, what? Spirit has a phone number? Yes, that's the number you call to contact me, Sarah Spiritual, to answer your questions all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We're going on a journey tonight. We're going to connect with all of you and answer your questions about life and the changes that life can bring upon us. Life is complicated, and as we navigate the energy of everything that we do, we may hit a block. We may hit an obstacle. We may find ourselves in a place of uncomfortability. But what about those times when you're fa-la-la going along? You know, those times when you think everything's beautiful, everything's, well, coming up roses, and life is grand. And all of a sudden, bam, life throws you a curveball. Have you ever been in one of those moments where we are thinking life is going the way we want it to? We have a plan. Maybe we just got a new job. Maybe we have a new relationship. Or maybe we've been in a relationship and we think everything's been fine. And all of a sudden, out of left field comes this curveball. Just kind of at you. And it's about an ending, a change, something totally unexpected. It's like the girl who was in a relationship for 8 years. She didn't think anything was wrong with the relationship. They had dated a long time. They had been married. They had what she thought was good communication. And the energy between them was comfortable. They didn't really have any disagreements, nothing to speak of. And then all of a sudden the partner says, I don't think I love you anymore. And then ended the relationship. Now that's a curveball. Then there's the time where we're journeying in our life and someone unexpectedly passes away, perhaps a parent, and sends us down a path of having to care for the other parent and make sure that things are in order. Perhaps puts us in a state of grief that is, at least in the beginning, unconsolable. Life has these ways of bringing in front of us things that we don't expect. And we may ask ourselves, well, where's God in all this? Where's God in the time when we're thinking life is good? And it feels like we just stood up and we had a plan. And then something comes and rips it right out from underneath us. How do we find our way through that? And is that something that God has ordained, preordained? It's part of the divine plan. Well, why didn't we have any warning? Why couldn't we be prepared? Why did we have to have our heart ripped out from under us? Why did we have ourselves in a great place financially and only to have everything tumble down just like that? When life throws you a curveball, it asks you to look inside and reconnect to your courage, to your guidance, to your divinity. It asks you to find the higher version of yourself. And the universe and God ask you to trust. But how can I trust something that seems so chaotic and uncertain and has us just all over the place in uncertainty? How do we do that? You know, last week we talked about uncertainty. And when life throws you a curveball, it's usually when things were just ducky, going on fine, and sends us running in a direction that we're uncertain as to where we're going to go because we're being reactive. There are times in life when we don't have the ability to process the things that are going on around us because it's too overwhelming emotionally, but yet we're expected to just show up, to make it through, to push through, to chin up, be a good soldier, be strong. But how can you be strong when everything you thought you knew is different? How can you be strong when you're feeling lost and alone? How can you be strong when there's such sadness? It's not an easy place to be. I remember when I moved to New Jersey in my latter half of my journey, and I came to this decision not because I really wanted to move back to New Jersey, but because I was asked to move back to New Jersey. And sometimes the universe does give us clues as to what's going to happen. And we don't really understand it. We don't know what it means. And even with the clue, we can't change the trajectory of where life is about to take us. And some of that sorrow and disappointment that we're about to experience, we very ill prepared for. And so when I agreed to go back to New Jersey, it was to be the watchful eye of a business that my father had in Parsippany, New Jersey. It was just that it was easier for me to relocate than it was for him and my mom. And so I was told to go there. And so I made that choice. I suppose I could have said absolutely not. I mean, after all, I had everything where I wanted it, in the place I was living, in a beautiful townhouse, and everything was just taking off. I was a senior sales director in Mary Kay Cosmetics. I was building my team and my business. I had a pink Cadillac. I was feeling accomplished. I had my relationship. It was, well, in Mary Kay, everything was very pink, but it was also coming up roses. Everything was fine. But because I worked from home, I said, all right. I travel, I go to different places. I guess it doesn't matter where my home base is. So I agreed to move close to Parsippany, New Jersey. And when I moved close to Parsippany, New Jersey, I had no idea what was going to unfold that year, but that was about to be one of the worst years of my life. Well, to date at that moment. So I moved to New Jersey, and I'll never forget, it was February 3rd. And I knew when everything was put in place in the house the day we moved that something didn't feel right. The woman, Marianne, who was my secretary at the time, she used to come to my home and help me with my Mary Kay business and schedule my appointments. And, well, it doesn't seem much different than us scheduling my appointments now, but different service. But she used to come to my home, and we used to put together newsletters and do mailings to people. We used to put together my schedule, plan my products, my sales, all the things that were important to what I was doing. Lovely woman, really kind and gentle. And she and her husband and her children, they all helped move me to this place in New Jersey. And I remember when they walked out the door, the last one of them, we had a lot of help. I had a piano, required more than a couple of people to move. That was interesting. And the door closed. And I just said to myself, and this is long before my spiritual days, long before I met my teacher, I said, it's not going to be good. Something's not right. And that feeling stayed with me that whole February. I couldn't shake this uneasy feeling, like I had made a mistake, like I wasn't supposed to be here. But nothing came of that, so I thought, and life moved on. So I went through the adjustment period, as all of us do in moving. We all go through an adjustment period when we make a change, and so we have to push through the uncomfortability. We have to push through the fact that you don't really know anybody. You got to get to know your neighbors. It's just not the same as where you were before. But hey, that's what change is all about. So as I sat there and I pushed through and did my work, life was moving on in the business that my father was managing. It was a country club. He had bought the rights for the country club for a period of time. He had retired from his original country club manager position in Westchester, New York, and this was his baby. I still couldn't shake that bad feeling. I didn't have a way to understand it, but I still couldn't shake that bad feeling. And it took about 9 months. But then it came. My father hit his leg, and the leg blew up. Not normal reaction. And at the time, I was pregnant. And so, well, I don't know how some people's families work, but some families like to keep things hush-hush until we know what's going on. So I don't even think I heard the exact day my father went in the hospital. I think they just kind of whisked him in and started to do whatever. And then the message came back that he had leukemia. And I thought to myself, well, I know people who've had leukemia and they really lasted a long time. So in my mind, I'm thinking, we've got time. But we didn't have time. In 3 weeks, he was gone. Just like that. And here he is. He has this business. My mom had to sell the business. My husband at the time was working. He was the chef there. Talk about everything getting turned upside down. And I remembered that feeling I had. But nothing would have changed. Even if I didn't move, my father still was going to pass when he was going to pass. I might have not been affected in some ways from a work perspective, but it was all going to happen. But it felt like a curveball because I didn't have any forewarning. I didn't know what was going to happen. You see, there's some things we can't know. But there was another storyline working underneath this storyline, and that's why I'm talking about when life throws you a curveball. It's not just like, okay, the universe is helping you learn to develop courage and let's sing to the heavens in gratitude that the angels have our back. I'm not saying it for that. Although, yes, courage is necessary, and yes, the angels do have your back. I'm saying this because, unbeknownst to me, the thing I didn't want to do, as I've shared on this in the studio before on this radio station with our listeners, the universe was preparing me to get to where I am now. Because if I was staying in my little Putnam County townhouse in New York, if I stayed there, then how was I ever going to meet my spiritual teacher in Parsippany, New Jersey? I don't know how that was going to happen. So the universe knew if we put the pressure on her through family obligation, she'll say yes. She might not feel too happy, but we'll at least get her to where we need to get her. And emotionally, she'll be in a place where she's feeling destroyed, distraught, and she'll be ready for us to remold her and build her into a different, better life than the life she knows that she thinks is good, but really isn't as good as it's supposed to be. Or at least isn't aligned with destiny. It's aligned with the ways of the world. That's what the universe was doing for me behind the scenes. But I didn't know. I didn't even know that there were forces that were working on my behalf. Yes, I believed in God, and yes, I was lined up with church and my connections. Matter of fact, right when my father asked me to move near Parsippany, New Jersey, they had just asked me to be the lead singer in a Faith Assembly of God church. And I was so psyched. I didn't even get to sing one song there. It was like I had the offer, I said yes, and then I had the call, and I had to call the people at the church and say, I'm sorry, I have to rescind. I can't do it. I have to move. And it really doesn't make sense for me to come there for 2 weeks to only turn around and leave. And I was sad. I was like, snap. I was all set to sing. But off I went. And that feeling that stayed with me, that feeling that warned me, but it couldn't tell me, hey, this is what's going to happen. So it was in that lull of energy and sadness. And now, mind you, I still have my father's grandchild coming to the earth, and now he's not going to be there. The other double punch of that was coming into 94. Lo and behold, my grandmother passed as well. Now, that was a lot. 2 people in less than 6 months. Talk about a curveball. And I remember that day as thinking, how much worse could it get? The universe picked me up. God picked me up. The angels picked me up. I did what I had to do. It was that rough patch. But it was that rough patch that had me reevaluate my entire life. And it made me think, as much as I loved Mary Kay Cosmetics for 10 years, I mean, I really built a business and a representation in the communities. And with women, I realized it wasn't enough for me. So I got it in my head that I wanted to go do something totally different in a corporate arena. Now, how you go from cosmetics to computers, don't ask me. But that's where I found myself. But it was through that I met my spiritual teacher. And he prepared me for a journey that he never told me was coming. That then led me here. After working at my center and connecting with people, everything fell into place. But it was almost as if the universe had to take this giant mallet and mash everything around me. Or it's like when you build a beautiful sandcastle on the beach, and yes, you know that eventually the tide's going to come up and wash it away, but you think you're going to enjoy it for at least the whole day while you're at the beach. Goodness knows you spend an hour building your sandcastle, and maybe you're there with a few friends and you're having a great time as a little one. And then some other kid runs through your sandcastle and knocks it down long before it's time. Well, sometimes life is that kind of curveball. It just knocks everything down. And you literally have the wind knocked from under you. That feeling I felt in February when I moved to New Jersey still stays with me. Now sometimes it's like that radar detector, like, uh-oh, something's coming. Now, I wasn't aware of these feelings and what they meant. I didn't understand, like many of you. But life had a way of warming me up to it. And then my spiritual teacher, my mentor, I should say, he made me aware of energy and people and feelings and reading vibrations. He gave me an ability to pause and not be reactive, even when something unpleasant is happening. He really gave me a knowing, an understanding. And yes, he explained to me how the universe worked, and he talked to me about angels, but he wasn't really too keen on my snapping my fingers and whipping up an angel. Matter of fact, he said, if you call an angel shows up in front of you, really manifests in front of you, would you even know what to do? And I was like, no. He said, well, then don't be calling any angels if you don't know what to do. You can pray, you can ask for assistance, but don't be trying to summon any angels if you don't know how to handle that energy. So he gave me an understanding that there were powers and energies greater than I, had a different vibration, stronger in a way, that we had to have a reverence to. We had to really appreciate and not play with things that are spiritual that we don't understand, that we need to learn and grow, become aware of what's going on, and understand who we are in adversity, who we are in our joyous moments, and where our integrity lies, where that line in the sand is when we have to follow our heart. I mean, there were times before my father passed when I was like kind of mad at myself. I was like, why did I move here? I don't want to be here. I was like, all right, I'm here. But the universe knows just what to say to get me where I needed to go. So no matter where you are in the journey of life, no matter what isn't working the way you want, or no matter what uncertainty you're navigating that we talked about last week, no matter what these past few years have brought upon you into your life and created around you and with people you know, no matter how many friends you've lost over differences of opinions or beliefs, God is taking people out of your life for a reason. God is bringing changes. And yes, some people have crossed over that maybe we didn't anticipate because of what's gone on in the planet in illness and disease. But we know that they're in a higher place. And whether we want to admit it or not, because we got sideswiped because someone was fine one day and the next minute they were in the intensive care and then the next day they were gone in 2020 and 2021, that was really a curveball in our lives. It was still part of a greater plan, even though we didn't understand it and we didn't want it to be like that. Saying goodbye to relatives on a FaceTime because we couldn't see them. Their soul knew they came to this life to be a part of that experience, as painful and uncomfortable and just crazy as it was for all of us. There's always a stronger current of energy working on our behalf, even when we don't understand. And those that have left us, that are on the other side, they're here. They're supporting us. They've got us. It wasn't their time to stay. They had to go. And that job that you lost, that difficulty that you had with a friend, it wasn't meant to be in your life any longer either. Or you made a choice that really wasn't right for you, and the universe just had to take it out, get the hook, get them off stage. We've got to go. And the universe has something better for you. And so sometimes in the something better, we have to sit and be alone with ourselves. For a lot of humans, that's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to be by ourselves. Kind of like company. But whatever your curveball is in life, whatever has happened that's caused you loss, sorrow, uncomfortability, difficulties financially, emotionally, whatever relationship has come to an end, friendship, lover, it's all happening for a greater reason that we cannot understand. And people come into our life for a reason and a time. And that even includes our pets. They're all here for the exact time they're meant to be. And it's up to us to trust and allow that the universe is working on your behalf, even when it seems like everything's crumbled down around you. You're never alone. And things come to those who wait. So no matter where you are, if you wait, and you're of courage, and you're of faith, and you trust, and you ask, and you drop down in your heart, and you stay in the energy of love, everything works out. May not bring our parents back, or our grandparents, our friends who've passed. Won't bring them back in the physical. But there's something else working on your behalf. You have to trust that. Imagine if I didn't trust what was being put in front of me, even though I was screaming and kicking some of the time. If I didn't trust that, I wouldn't be here today. Well, we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. We're going to dial up, tune in, and we're going to answer your questions at 866-972-7247. And in our second hour, in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to hear from our friend Stacie Holler, and she's going to be sharing with us what the stars, the planets have in store for us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost a love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore.
Yes, indeed. The ways that worked before, they may not be working anymore. So it's time to make the changes. Even when life has brought about a change for you, we need to just focus and trust the universe has a plan. And we've got some plans coming up at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I've got quite the schedule. We've got some classes coming up. Yes, indeed. They're just pulling it up on the screen for us. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, you could see it. But for those of you just listening on air, we have our class on angel communication. That's happening at 2/20. So 2/20, February 20, 2024. We got the 222s happening, and we are connecting with the angels, and we're going to show you how to build that communication. Remember when my spiritual teacher said, well, what's going to happen if you summon an angel? You might not know what to do. Well, I'm going to show you how to connect with them and build that bridge of communication and feel that connectivity. We're not going to be manifesting angels, but we are going to be connecting to them, and you're going to develop your communication. That class is live on at the center, live on air in our studio at our center. So you're going to watch it live through your link that you'll get. So it's a live online class, live in the center, and you can register at sarahspiritual.com. That class is only $15. And then we've got another class coming up, and I'm really excited to teach our next class. It's about how to clear your energy. You know, everywhere you go, you're cruising down the highway, walking next to people, you're picking up energy. You ever go home and go, oh my God, I feel drained. I don't feel like myself. Some of you might feel that way coming home from a day of work. Maybe your coworker is a little negative. We want to teach you how to clear your energy, and even how to clear your energy while you're at work. You know, we can't always be running around with a smudge stick or a Palo Santo stick and waving sage throughout the office. That's usually not acceptable. And even if you're home working remote, through that screen, your computer screen, through that telephone connection, energy travels. I'm going to teach you how to block that energy, how to shield, how to keep your energy clear, how to clear your energy. That is on March 5th. 2024. That too is $15. That too will be live in the center, live online. So we hope you join us. Visit sarahspiritual.com. But I'm not done yet. We've got quite the schedule coming up. You want to get lucky? Yep, we got a How to Get Lucky class. Oh, you can interpret it any way you want, but we're talking about how to create luck and abundance, because this is a time to find the flow of abundance. Now, you know, a little fun fact about Sarah Spiritual. I like to get lucky with the frequency of numbers. And I see numbers, and I know numbers are going to come. And my hand itches, and they tell me, go play a number. If I'm somewhere and there's a 50-50 raffle, who do you think's going to win? Sarah Spiritual. You'd be like, yeah, but that's because you're Sarah Spiritual. What if I could teach you how to attract money through other sources other than your job? What if gifts could come to you? What if you could win a free prize? And yes, what if you could win the lottery? Now, I wish I could promise you 6 numbers. I've asked. They haven't given me that yet. But I've mastered the 3, and I've mastered the cash 4. So we're working our way up to Fantasy 5, I'm telling you. But we want to work with all of you, and we want to help you align with abundance, and we want to help you get lucky. So join us March 12th, 2024. for how to get lucky, how to create luck and abundance at our center, live online, and it's only 15. And we're going to have some real fun with that class, so really hope you're going to be open to this one, because it's not just the luck of the Irish. You all are programmed for luck. The universe has such luck for everybody. And a little extra cash, as we like to say. So we've got another thing coming up. We're going to spin ourselves back to February. February 28th. What are you doing? Do you know we broadcast out of a studio in Boca? And it's time for you to take a leap of faith with us. After all, I took a leap of faith to get here. A big leap of faith. So we're going to show you how to take a leap of faith. We're going to have a live show, and you get to be the studio audience. We're going to have VIPs. We're going to have general admission. We're going to have VIP admission. We're going to give away prizes. We're going to be giving away all goodies. It's going to be a great show here in Boca. So that's going to be put up on our website at sarahspiritual.com. So if you don't see it tonight, it'll be up by tomorrow. That's my cue to the people who get those things up on the website. Get cracking, because we need to know how to register for a leap of faith. It is limited seating. I sure hope you join me. We had a wonderful turnout the last time we did it here in Boca, and we had a fabulous turnout also when we did it at the center, but this time we're going to do it in Boca. We've got some fun things coming up, and that is February 28th. This is a leap year, so we actually have February 29th the next day. So join us February 28th, and we are going to take a leap of faith, and I look forward to seeing you at our live show. Well, that's a lot of announcements. You know I got more stuff planned, but that's all I'm going to tell you about for now. We're going to go to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And I've been talking to my friends on Facebook, and I want to know how they're doing. And some people were sharing with us that they thought that that was a really powerful opening. It touched their heart. So thank you so much for that. And some people are talking about they're seeing angel numbers. And we want you to ask your questions. We're going to be reading your questions live on air and giving you your answers. So keep the questions in the comments. Follow our instructions on our online page, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We're going to be getting to your questions in just a moment. But for this minute, I've got to go to Hollandale. I've got Joey, and Joey's in Hollandale. Joey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. Thank you so much for your call. We're so glad to be connecting with you here tonight. And what's your burning question for us?
My burning question is that, I keep hearing be patient, but my guys, I thought I wasn't supposed to worry about money, but I do sometimes, even though it comes anyways. And I'm really expanding into doing things that I don't think I can explain until I die and ask God, how did I do this? Healing people.
Right.
Well,
my
services
we're going to interject something, Joey. We want to interject. So when you say the question, and I really want to address this because you speak for many people. When you say the question, how am I doing this? That's what you came to do. And you're worthy of that. So never ask that question again. Don't question how.
Okay.
Don't question why. If you're here for a purpose and you're here to deliver the energy of healing, if you're here to deliver the energy of a message for someone, I promise you, sure as shooting match, you get up to heaven, the last thing you're going to be asking God is, how did I do that, God? Because you get laughed right out of heaven, okay? Because God will be like, that's what I put you on earth for, bro. So, what's up? So I want you to really embrace the fact that I, Joey, am a healer. I, Joey, am a messenger. Not just I, the person, but I, the being, am here to be of service for people, and this is what I've come to do. So I know that's not your burning question. So what is your question?
Well, it was just like sometimes I feel like I'm guided to take a break and then go back to working. Sometimes I see I attract business in a different way, and it comes from a different source. Like this weekend, I was at the mall to get out of my house, and my promotion is really TikTok right now. But I got out and I still got an appointment, and I did it right at the mall. And I kind of like that whole country club. I'm defining what I like to do.
Good.
Helping people with that. that 5-star resort that I used to work at, and be the pillars of excellence that I used to be when I used to work at Turnberry Isle. I think that that's a pretty feasible thing to do. Those are goals that are realistic that I want to have, and
Great.
I'm just a little confused. Right now, I've been mentoring 3 people, and I know that what you would say, it has failed every time that I mentor them for free, and
Right.
it's a pattern, and I don't think I want to do that again.
So you used a
And
great word,
I
Joey.
got hurt.
You used the word confused. So where are we confused? Where's the confusion coming from? We're confused as to how the money comes and sometimes doesn't come, or how we end up in one place and then the money
Yeah,
comes. So what is the
yeah, because
underlying question?
I'm expanding into doing like, uh, I don't like to call it spell work, but I'm mixing energy to make things happen and to play people and their relationships. It's expanding into also teaching people how to guide their lives and what they need to follow for their own good, not my
Okay.
way, but their
Okay.
way. I'm
All
having a
right.
workshop now, so I'm expanding into
All
other
right.
ways.
So
I
Joey,
mean, I trust that I'm going in the right.
I'm not hearing a question here. I'm hearing you talk about what you are doing. So I'm going to give you a message from Spirit. And here's the message.
Go ahead.
Follow the prompt. Follow the energy. If you feel compelled to help somebody, help somebody. If you feel compelled to give a message, give a message. As long as you're giving it from your heart, not your mind, not your desire to be seen and heard, then everything will fall into beautiful alignment. When you come upon this new moon, we're coming into it, but we're not there yet, and the Chinese New Year, write down what you want this year to look like for yourself. And write down the streams of revenue that the universe can provide for you, the different streams, and then leave it open to some additional streams. And in your meditation and in your writing of what you want to create, I want you to write down the ways that you are going to accomplish this that you know of, through working with people, through energy, through helping them manifest, right? Spell work, manifestation, it's all the same thing. So you're going to help them manifest. You're going to help them reunite. You're going to help them find their own personal power. And you're not going to give your exchange of energy away for free any longer, because there needs to be something that is going to be reciprocal, right? The law of reciprocity. I had to pause to make sure the word came out quickly and easily. That is where we're going to go. So we want to be in this energy.
Thank you.
And that's where you are. And then every time you find yourself in the wobble, every time you find yourself in the confusion, every time you're going, well, how, God, right? I've asked that question. It's like, well, why me? I asked that question of my spiritual teacher when I was with him. Well, why me? And you know what he said? Why not you? Well, that shut me up. Well, why not me? So don't ask why. Be in gratitude. Be the conduit and trust, Joey, all right? We trust that we've been of service to you. We're really glad that you've connected with us. For this minute, this call is complete.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye for now. Bye. 866-972-7247. We've got some friends on Facebook. We've got some friends on YouTube. Let's see, we've got some questions. Who's got a question for us on Facebook and YouTube? We want to pull it up. We want to tune it in. Let's see who we've got in our feed. We'll pull up those questions on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much. There we go. Brenda Duarte. She says, Jim, and she gives me his birthday. Unfortunately, Jim has been diagnosed with a bladder cancer. And she wants to know, will she and her daughter be all right when he leaves her? You will be all right. But I also see that Jim is a strong being and that he has a lot of strength spiritually. He has a lot of strength in his physical body. And we don't want you to focus on the when. We want you to focus on the power of healing and the power of the connection of love and the power of how things can come together for all of you to create new memories. And not look at how much more time do we have. Look at every moment as a precious moment and not worry about when the time comes to an end. But the angels will not let you down. You will be fine, and you will know exactly what to do should you have to do it without him. Trust that there is divine healing. Let's not look to the outcome of disappointment, and grief, let's look at the outcome of some divine healing to extend the path for him. It is possible, because that's what miracles are about. But yes, Brenda Duarte, you will be all right. Your daughter will be all right. You will be able to navigate this. Thank you so much for your Facebook question. We're going to pull one more for this moment from Facebook or YouTube. Let's see who we've got and what we've got going on. We'll take another one. Kimberly Cullen. Well, Kimberly, she says, I've been seeing angel numbers. I've been seeing 444 a lot lately. Does Spirit have a message for me? Well, Kimberly Cullen, 444 does mean that the angels are with you. It also means that things are lining up for you perfectly. It is a really, really powerful time for you to take a look at the money, take a look at where you are financially. What do we want to do? What do we want to manifest financially? And what needs to change to build that better financial flow? What needs to change to create the energy of financial freedom? So I see advancement, promotion, growth for the work environment, something having to do with career being tweaked so that you could earn more. Look for this to be a great financial year, and everything is coming up for you with roses, Kimberly. So just know that everything will line up. The angels have your back. Thanks so much for your Facebook question. We're going to be going to Facebook and YouTube again when we come back. But for this moment, we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Know me, do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO Enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Every soul's got a story. What's your story? We're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah right here on VCMG on the oldie station. And we're so glad to have our friends at 104.3 joining us out of Miami, and all our friends on 95.3 and 96.9 and 95.9 and 106.9. And let's not forget our friends at 103.1 HD3. We are tuning in and tuning out to see what's going on all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And let's take a look here. We've got to go to, we've got to go to Sandy. Sandy is in Boca. Sandy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Good to connect with you, Sandy. And what is your question for us here tonight?
So my question, everything you touched on was fabulous because it all connects with me. My question is to you, like, what is the SOS / the 444, 44 times 5? That happened to me at work the other day. The meter inside the office just kept going off like SOS. It scared the other young lady who's very religious, and she'd pray and it stopped. But I'm like, don't worry, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And it was 5 4s in a row. And this morning, it was interesting because I woke up literally out of my sleep at 5:55 a.m. I was like, that was not random. Something was up. It's just who's around me, who's trying to give me a message, whether spiritually or otherwise. That was my question.
Okay, great line of questioning. And here's the interesting thing here. So SOS 444 repetitively, okay, truly an angel message. Truly the angels are with you. Truly a higher vibration. Truly a higher spirit. Truly the energy that there is a change coming for you, and that no matter what catches you off guard, you're going to be fine. Now, it is somehow, I feel like there's something going on at work. Is there some difficulties at work or some challenges going on behind the scenes in the place where you work at this time?
Probably, but I'm not really knowing about them. Like, I know it's just weird. Like, there's some changes going on, but I don't know, like I said, per se, what's happening. It's a little tense off and on between management.
So I feel like whatever's going on, you're going to be in the clear. You're going to be safe, even if they rearrange some people. This for you is a really powerful year of you making career changes and choices that benefit you. So perhaps something's going to open up. Perhaps the angels are getting something ready for you. Whenever you see 555, that means a change is coming. Whether you like it or not, a change is going to come. Something's going to come, and it's going to be there for your highest good. So we want to pay attention to that. So very interesting that tonight is the night you're calling in, because life may throw you a little bit of a curveball, but it's all going to be for your highest good. I am also in this energy of you have strong presence on the other side, family members who are with you. And there's a lot of conversations that you have to the spirit world. Yes, you talk to them out loud?
Absolutely. Not always, but sometimes.
Okay.
I know
So-
when they're around, they kind of
send you
have that
messages,
sensation.
right? They send you messages. Now, I have a couple of connections here that are trying to form, and I'm going to see if I can bridge the connection to bring them through for you. But they're taking me on the energy of a grandmother. The grandmother wants to stand above the father's energy. Your father's mother has passed, please?
Yes. I've never met her.
Okay, she's with you. She's standing there. So even though you haven't met her, she's making her presence. But I also have a gentleman connected to you, Sandy, as well. And he seems to be connected in like a father-grandfather energy, but I placed him in the grandfather energy. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, that would make sense as well.
Both your father's parents are both passed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Then I also made aware of a woman connected to you, and this is on your mother's side. So that grandmother has passed as well, your mother's mother?
Yes.
Okay. She was the one you were closer to, yes? Because she steps forward with this energy of love and connection and comfort. She makes me feel as if there was a relationship there. This also makes sense to you. She also sends you messages, okay? She is the one who will bridge a connection and let you know she's with you, give you that warmth in that feeling, almost like someone put a blanket around you, that sense of peace that comes. They just gave me this picture of, did you ever see the commercial for there's like, they call it, I think, a thunder blanket that you put on a dog and that makes them calm during thunder? Your grandmother is like your thunder blanket. When you feel nervous or concerned, her energy comes over you. And is there a dog connected to you that passed? Because they're still showing me a dog, even though they gave me the analogy of a thunder blanket. Did we lose a dog, please?
Yeah, we lost Ori. She was a prairie dog, and I'm in the middle of waiting to hear a curveball in honor of her adopting one that was from a rescue area.
Thank
rescue
you.
Center.
There we go. Okay. So she was a prairie dog. Beautiful, beautiful animal.
Yeah, very, very cute, very kindred, very calm. You know,
Exactly.
very little runsky. Like she was the mother hen of the other one.
And so she herself was kind of like a thunder blanket for you too, because she brought you peace and comfort and love. Yes?
Yes.
Very
much.
In my life, I think I've seen that commercial once, and I'm like, why are they showing me some infomercial blanket? I'm like, I just never know what they're going to show me, honey. But you are very comforted around your grandmother's energy. Just know that she is with you. You have strong connections with your father's family, even though they're not people you spent a lot of time with. They are looking out for you. I am being made aware of a man with a heart, something going on with his heart. Is your dad having a problem with his heart, please?
Well, he did pass away. So when you touched on your own father, how it happened was very, very
quick like that? Okay,
well.
we've got that. So what was going on? So did he have a heart problem as well besides his unexpected passing, honey? Was something with his heart?
I think, like I said, from the body with the COVID and however that played out, it was very quick.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we are most certainly comforted by those on the other side. Know that they're with you, and I'm also made aware of a lot of electrical things going on. Have you noticed things flashing on and off unexpectedly around you? When you do, that's coming from your dad's energy.
Okay, yeah. Yes, like I said, especially the other day, literally Tuesday, I'm at work. I'm just sitting down for lunch late, and I'm like, what in the heck's going on? It was like,
right.
I walk away, and it stopped. I'd walk away, and then I'm like, oh, look at the message, 4444, you know. And they're like, oh, we did something to check something at work. The mechanic was like, we did something to check something, long story short. And I said, well, to me, I'm sorry to tell you, that wasn't random to me. There was no coincidences.
Correct. But I also know that your father does that for you at home. So pay attention when things flash before you. when the power gets dim for a second and we're not having a power surge here, just know that he's giving you messages. All right?
Okay, because my light bulb in the room. Yes, thank you.
All right. What does your light do in your room? Could you say that again for me?
It'll, like, I'll be standing there, and then it just acts weird. Like, I'm like, what the heck? And it's not a power outage or anything.
Perfect.
It's one of those lights that you can turn the dimmer higher.
Yes.
So it'll turn itself higher, and I'm like, and then it'll do like SOS things. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
That's your dad. Okay, that's the exact thing that he's showing me. And what's happening is his electromagnetic energy is around you, and when it comes in contact with that light, the light is reacting to the shift in the electromagnetic energy, and it's making itself brighter and less light. That's what's happening. That is all part of his connection with you.
Perfect, because that does it a lot, and I didn't know what that was. I'm like, is there something wrong with this electric in this house? Yeah. That's what I thought. I'm like, wow, I don't know.
No, there's not. And whose birthday or who's connected to the month of June, please, in the family?
There's a couple of them. I mean, my nephews. I have 2 nephews.
And that's connected to a sibling of yours, yes?
Yes. Yes.
Brother energy. There's a brother, please.
The brother, he's a February energy, but that's my sister's son, the June one.
Okay. You have a brother, though, yes?
Yes.
Okay, because your father's
brother. Yeah.
Yes, your father's talking to me about a brother, but it's your brother. That's what I'm hearing from him here now. So
yeah,
his birthday's coming up, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Dad is aware of everything that's going on. He is. Just know that you're not alone. And the nephew's birthday that's coming up in June, whatever's going to happen coming up together for this party, a celebration or something, he's going to make his presence known for that. You'll know Dad is with you. And it's going to be an important celebration for that nephew.
Okay. Thank you. Right. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you following the show. Bye for now.
Bye. Many blessings. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're continuing to answer your questions here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And we're going to go back to the phone lines. And I've got to go to Eileen. Eileen is in Chicago. Eileen, how are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Good to connect with you again. And what is your question?
Yeah. I did receive a curveball today, and I'm feeling kind of deflated with it. And it has to do with a legal case.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, is it going to stretch out and go to a trial?
They rejected what we were working on. Is that true?
They showed up with nothing to begin with.
No offer at all?
Right. There's 2 parties, and they're pointing the finger at each other.
I know you don't want to go to trial, but that seems, if no one's going to take accountability and responsibility, then we have to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the universe is working out for you on your behalf in spite of what's going on. Did we take any depositions today?
No, just the word that the mediator came up with a pretty low figure, and that they're still at the table seeing if they could do something. Okay. That's all I know.
Well, this is where you ask for Archangel Michael, you ask the angels to help you and support you, and you ask for that guidance, and they will deliver you from this. You're going to have to push through this.
Okay.
And this is a time where,
Okay.
and we'll be listening to Stacie, our astrologer, but this is the time where we can push forward with a lot. So we have to push forward, and there's a lot of fate acting on our behalf. So we have to trust that fate is in play and the divine plan is ironing out for us. So look for that guidance from the universe, and they will prompt things to move in a better direction. If things are too low or not sufficient enough, then you deserve your just due in court, and people need to take accountability, Eileen. All right, my dear? Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
God bless.
All right, everything happens for a reason. Don't get down in the mouth on us. Keep your chin up. It will work out.
Yeah.
Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you.
866-972-7247. We thank Eileen for her call. We're going to take a brief minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we've got calls all across the nation at 866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Know me, do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me?
Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? I am Sarah Spiritual, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We're so glad to have you joining us on the Oldie Station. Glad to have you connecting with us in Miami. We're always appreciative of your calls and your connections. We're going to go to our calls, and I've got a caller in Naples, Florida, and it's Angie. Angie, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing great, Angie. Good to connect with you. And what is your question?
I want to know which one of my loved ones are around me, and also my youngest son. My 18-year-old had a car accident a couple weeks ago, and I know he survived that by the grace of God, and I know my angels were around him, and I'm just wondering if you could tell me which ones were around him.
Male energy seems to feel like a brother, would be like his uncle. Is that true, please? Is there a gentleman who's like an uncle to him who passed?
Yeah, my Uncle Frankie.
Ah, your uncle. So it'd be his
Possibly.
great uncle. Yes. Uncle Frankie's in the building, honey. Uncle Frankie. He seems to be a bit of a character, Uncle Frankie, yes?
Yes, he is.
Yes. So he definitely assisted. He was there for that. Archangel Michael, of course, was there. And Angie, when I look at this energy, they talk to me about the plans that you're making. You're making some plans for your own personal growth, expansion of yourself in business, but also personal expansion. You've been making some plans, yes?
Yes, I was actually thinking about changing companies, and I have 3 different companies in mind, but I'm not sure which one to go to. One sticks out more than the others, but I'm still trying to figure that out.
Angie, father has passed as well. Is that also true?
Yeah.
Yes, because I have a man who feels like father energy above you as well. The one that sticks out, it sticks out because it seems like you're going to get a little more support as well as a better financial reward from them. Is that true?
Yes.
Something about mentoring. Is there like a mentoring program or something that they can help you build, but then you'll be able to assist in mentoring too and build a team? Is that something you want to do?
I mean, I thought about that, but that's not that wasn't going to be my most recent thing that I was going to be working on. But I want to start a project with like building some barndominiums. And one company I think can help me with that more, but I think the other one would help me in the real estate overall.
So one's more of a project team and one's more of real estate. So my guides say this because there's a logic here that we have to also follow because we're in the world. Where do you get your most bread and butter, and what is going to have the most longevity for you? This is where we need to look. And what would your dad tell you to do? Your dad would tell you to stick with what is your best opportunity to build wealth, but maintain consistency so that the rug doesn't get pulled out from under you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. My guides are telling me that look at the practicality of something. Now, I do believe that you're meant to be a part of a big project. So do we have to be a part of that organization? Can we join the more real estate based one and still have our foot in the door of this other company? Is there a way to do both?
Possibly. Yeah, I've thought about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Because that's a long-term project, and we may not yield reward for a while for that. That's also true, yes?
Yes.
But we need the bread and butter buttered today, yes? We do.
Yes.
Okay. Find out how you can make the best of both worlds. Pick the team in real estate that's going to be the most supportive for you. That's the team that we want to have because they're going to build you and you're going to be supported. And you want to speak with other people who are associated with them and really have stories that are tried and true track records of their experiences so that you can feel it in your soul. It has to be a soul alignment. For you, there is no more making choices solely based in your mind. It has to be a soul alignment for you. And ask your dad to give you a sign. He will give you a sign. All right, my dear, Dad is with you. Uncle Frankie was with your son at the time of his accident. His energy comes through. And, of course, Archangel Michael. And we're so glad that your son is all right and he's well after that experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Angie, for following the show. We greatly appreciate you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. Now, from Naples, Florida, I've got to cut across the state. I got to go to Port St. Lucie. I've got Adam on the line. Adam, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Good to make this connection with you, Adam. What is your burning question for us?
So my burning question is, I started a new job opportunity a couple weeks ago, and it's in the field that I thought I do want to be in, doing something, the title-wise at least, that is really what I want to be doing. However, the job itself was nothing like I expected, and I'm kind of really disappointed with how it's been going. So I just kind of have been racking my brains if it's something that is worth putting my mental health on the line for, because the job market's pretty bad out there and it's been hard to get steady work doing, what I do. Right. So I guess I was wondering, should I stick it out or is this not the right opportunity for me?
Well, interestingly enough, let's talk about where you are in the journey of life first and foremost. So when we look at new beginnings, the beginning part of this year truly for you is a new beginning. It's wiping the slate clean of a lot of past experiences that maybe kind of fell short of your expectations. So as we're in this energy of new beginnings, to be in a predicament, they use that word predicament, that makes you feel as if you're not honoring your own personal power, puts a big question mark. Because as we move you further into 2024, this is all about your personal power, your healthy boundaries. This is a year of self-worth, self-care, and self-love. So we have to draw that line in the sand. Now, as you were talking, I heard a voice in my head say, there's some action going on around you where they are, for lack of a better word, kind of putting you through the paces, even though you feel like you know more than what they are allowing you to do. I just feel like they're putting you through the paces, and it's almost like you're being tested, right? So they really want to see if you're going to roll up your sleeves. But so that's what I heard. But then when I also asked the question of spirit, well, where is this going to lead? It's only going to level up a bit more. So it's really not quite your cup of tea. Is it worth your mental health? That answer is no. Is it worth you seeing if someone can recognize your talent in this next short period of time? My guides tell me 3 weeks. And then if no one addresses where they ideally would like to use you and what other tasks they wish to ask you to participate in so that you can shine in your talent, then we step away. This makes sense to you?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
So essentially, ride it out through February. And if things don't start looking like they're going to come up roses, honey, we're going to bail. And we're going to draw out a healthy line in the sand so that you have the freedom to attract something better. There are other projects. There are other things that will come for you. This is already written in the sand, in the stone, so to speak. And when you look at the opportunities, it's based on your availability energetically to connect with everything that you've been envisioning for the past 5 years. Because the past 5 years is what I hear has been a very important growth time for you in your trade. Is that correct?
Yes, and there's a project currently that's kind of the culmination of all of that. That's currently is about to happen, but it's just, it takes time and stuff's happening behind the scenes. So that's kind of how I'm writing it out with these other, jobs while that's going on, but it's very close to coming to full circle fruition where, I won't need this other job even at that point.
So then trust the universe will open up the doors. This is a time of fated moments when fate interacts on your behalf. This is the change that's going on in the world. So everyone is going to become face to face with their own personal fate, the things that are meant to happen. And so if you've sowed your seeds of greatness and the garden isn't growing yet, well, even though the groundhog didn't see his shadow and spring is coming soon, it's still not warm enough to get everything to really grow where we can recognize the beauty of our work. So take a breath. We can do anything for a short period of time. And when you're going through it and you're feeling frazzled or used or underestimated, you say, I'm having a lesson in humility. And this is giving me the opportunity to appreciate how far I've come. And it's serving a purpose because they may not be using my talent, but I sure as heck am using the paycheck that they're giving me. Talk to yourself that way. And kind of create your own luck in this seemingly uncomfortable place. There are those that can and will notice you. It may not be worth it staying that long. We'll see who steps up and acknowledges. But you're being tested is what I heard. So let's see how we shine and stay in gratitude. The universe gave you a nice little chunk of change to get this done. So let's let this tide you over. It'll work out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. We greatly appreciate your calling into the show. We trust we've been of service to you today.
Sarah, you're amazing. You are. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So
My
amazing.
pleasure. Bye for now. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. And then when we come back in our 8 o'clock hour, before we go back to our phone calls, so if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to first tune in with Stacie because Stacie's going to take a look at those planets and really get a sense of what's about to happen planetarily and how it's going to affect you. Each one of your signs, we're going to get that report. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. 7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world
Back here live
is
on Spiritually Speaking with
changing
Sarah, and we're
now.
answering your questions all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we can't wait to talk to you and see what messages Spirit has. Tonight we're talking about life, throwing us some curveballs, and we're also going to talk to our friend Stacie Holler. I'm sure she's going to tell us a few things about what planets can throw us a curveball in this next month under your astrological sign. And we've got some great things coming up at the center. Do want to call attention to that. We've got some classes. I've got my angel communication class. That's our very next class, and that is going to be coming up. Drumroll, please. We'll pull that up for us. We've got our angel communication class on February 20th, 2024, and that is live at the center and live online. Cost of that class is only $15. You can find that at sarahspiritual.com. After that class, we've got a How to Clear Your Energy class. That's going to be coming up on March 5th. That class is only $15, and yes, you can register at sarahspiritual.com. And yes, that class is going to be live in the center, in person as well as online. So visit sarahspiritual.com, and we've got a How to Get Lucky class. Do you want to get lucky? We're going to be teaching you a little about how to create luck in your life, have more synchronistical activities happen, things flow around you. We are going to tune in and get you ways to attract luck and money into your life. And that class is live at the center and online on March 12th. And that class is only $15. So we're going to take our next caller and we're going to see what is happening around the nation and around the world. And we're going to just ask my producer to pop up over here too pretty quick if he can, because we've got some things flashing in front of me. Talk about flashing. I don't know why we've got flashing right there. Right there. Why is there a red flashing right there? I didn't have any red things flashing. It's like the lady who called in with 444. What's happening? Yes, it's flashing. It's flashing red. It is not. Okay, take a look over here. It's flashing red.
Okay. It's allowed.
Okay.
It's okay.
I think the angels are just trying to tell us something. No, it wasn't flashing before. So do you know what he does to cover the flashing, everyone? This is how high tech we are. The man is trying to put a duck in front of the camera light. Yes, this is a professional production here. I've only been doing this for 14 and a half years, but okay, we got a duck on our camera. Little ducky, you're the one. No flashing. Thank you so much. Well, I can't be just, I see enough things in my mind. I hear enough voices in my head.
It's been like that for 6 years.
It has. I haven't even been here for 6 years. I love the way my producer always loves to exaggerate. Well, we got to talk to Stacie because apparently the planets are out of alignment in the Piscean energy over there. So we're going to have to see what's going on over there. Stacie, how are you doing? Good to have you. I'm seeing lights flashing here, thinking things are going to shut off. Maybe the battery's dying. But what do I know? I'm just the girl behind the microphone. How are you doing, Stacie?
Hi, Sarah. Well, maybe I could connect some of these dots for you quickly.
Oh,
What's
please
going on?
do. Please do. Yes.
So let me try. So we're in Aquarius season. Happy birthday, Aquarius. Now,
Yes.
Aquarius's ruler is Uranus, and Uranus is king and queen of the curveball. And
Are you
Uranus is
kidding?
all about technology. So, you know,
Oh.
you wanted to talk about curveballs tonight, and the universe wanted to show how you handle one, I guess.
So let me share this with you. So I don't know what to look for in astrology. It's not something that I take the time to really look up and analyze. So I'm always fascinated. I am truly fascinated when spirit gives me a topic and they're like, we want to talk about a curveball. And we want to talk about the energy of a curveball. And I'm like, well, that's really like, who wants to talk about life throwing them a curveball? Like, can we come up with a better topic? And Spirit's like, no, Sarah Spiritual. We're going to talk about how life throws you a curveball. And we were going to do this show last Wednesday, but I wasn't able to get here last Wednesday to do a show. So we played our uncertainty show again. And I wasn't here for a live show. Very rare, but I wasn't here. It wasn't necessarily a curveball. It was just something that was like a decision that I made. I wasn't going to be able to come here on last Wednesday. And so here we are talking to you, and the planet Uranus is kind of creating a whole bunch of ruckus, apparently. And I had no idea that all of these changes could create curveballs. So do explain this to our listeners a little bit more in depth, because before we get to the signs, give us some ways that we could have a curveball, because whenever things change or catch people off guard, as you know, Stacie, people get a little freaked out and we get nervous and we panic. So how do we handle the curveballs of life?
Well, I guess we call them curveballs because we just don't see it coming until it hits us in the head, right?
Correct.
And that's the one aspect in our charts that we have no control of. The planet Uranus is the planet that kind of is really there, to your point, to right-size us when we need to be right-sized, or to get us on the right track, or as you were talking about earlier, when those changes come and we don't understand them until later on we know why they happen, because they're part of our journey and our bigger plan. But at the time, totally shakes us. So Uranus will show up in your chart and hit you in certain places in your area when you need to make a change. So learning how to cope with them and having faith that it's putting you in the places you really need to be help navigate. But I'm not going to minimize sometimes how much it really does shake us up. But hold on to the fact that it is part of your plan for the greater good. And I like to think about the fact that, it's a good thing the universe doesn't let us flounder in the wrong direction for too long. Isn't it, Sarah?
Well, it can be, but, that uncomfortability of going from point A to point B and they're dragging us kicking and screaming, anyone who's been through it, which I'm sure a great amount of listeners have had that moment of like, I didn't want to come here. It's just a rough feeling. But in the end, we always get to see what the greater purpose is.
And I do think many times it happens in an area of your life where maybe you're dragging your feet and you should have made the change. We talk about other energies that come through, like retrogrades. We're meant to stop and pause and consider and think about the directions. Now, it's interesting that you're having a wonderful class and event on the 28th this month, which is a very special day when Sun and Saturn are conjunct in Pisces, meaning it could be called the day of challenges, and it is in Pisces, but it's meant for us to pause
and
consider. And we're going to talk about tonight where
hold on.
That in your life that is going to happen.
Stacie, hold on. Wait a minute. So we're going to do our live radio show on a day of challenges on the 28th, and it's in the Piscean energy, and my producer's a Pisces. Should I tell him not to come?
No, you want him there because the Sun and Saturn are in Pisces, and Pisces is when we're most connected to our spiritual side. So it is the perfect time for you to connect with your audience on a basis where you're having everybody stop and pause and consider the important parts of their life and make the connections for their long term. Right?
All right. And the name of the show, Spirit gave me the name of the show for that day. They never give me the name this far in advance, is Leap of Faith. So that must be appropriate too, yes?
Leap of faith, that's what Pisces is all about. Pisces is all about
see?
your spiritual side, listening to your gut, making connection to spirit. So it is all about faith. So there's no coincidences
No
about
coincidences.
your events.
Thank God I
Yeah.
listen to Spirit. And
So-
apparently Spirit knows astrology. So that's the best part. Spirit knows astrology. I listen to Spirit. Thank God. And then when I really need to know the astrology, who do I call? Stacie Holler. So Stacie, enough about our little moments here at the studio. Tell everyone, what are we going to expect? How powerful are these next 2 months for everyone? I know we're going to do just this month, but give us a little insight as to, we're through the new year. We've got a new moon coming. We have the Chinese New Year coming. A lot of things are coming into alignment, at least for a while. Give us something to look forward to, and give us something to take away, understanding for each of us what we can learn from these times and what we can really create, if you would, please.
Yes, and you brought up the Lunar New Year, and I do want to mention that because I want everybody to understand the cycles that we go through and the zodiac cycle. So this Lunar New Year coming is taking us from a year of the water rabbit into the wood dragon. And every time we graduate into the next sign, it's a reaction to the sign before. So in the Chinese zodiac New Year, we're coming out of the introspective spiritual water rabbit. And now what's starting this weekend in the new year is the fire-breathing dragon. And you mentioned earlier, yes, now we're coming into a new energy that's about building and growth. It's associated with Aries and Mars. So we're going to have a lot of that energy pushing us forward and able to accomplish things. But we do want to take a look for everybody about we always look at the new moon and the full moons because that's the general energies of where we're creating what we want and what's coming to fruition. So we're going to look at that, and then we'll take a peek at for everybody where on Sarah's live broadcast, what area of your life is going to be an area for you to pause and take a look at. So We'll start to rock around the clock.
Yes.
Remember, listen to your rising sign as well, everybody, if you know that. So we'll start with Aries. So Aries, the full moon, the new moon is in your 11th house. And this is for you to think about your dreams and envision where you want to go over the next 6 months. New moons is vision time. So in your 11th house, it's your goals and your dreams and your friends and associations and who you want to be with. And when the full moon comes around, that's in your house of everyday life. So is it time to sign up for the gym? Think about your health. This full moon, finally pull the plug on that plan of what you've been thinking. Or if you're cleaning up your house, now's the time to do it. Now, your day of challenge is in your 12th house. So on that day, it's for you to be about introspection and meditation and time to release the things that you've been working on and where you want to be going forward. Now, Taurus, your new moon is in your career house. So it's time for you to envision what you want in the next 6 months. Working on a promotion. What do you have to put in place? Time to start to look for a job. Maybe you're thinking about a new career. And the full moon for you is in your house of romance and love, the 5th house. And creativity. So the creative projects you've been working on may finally come to fruition. And it's time to get out, show your talents. Now, your day of challenge is in your 11th house. And that 11th house is all about your goals and dreams and friends. So if you need changes in that area, what is your world and who do you want to be associated with over the next 6 months? Now, Gemini, Sarah, you got to pay attention. Your new moon is in the 9th house. Now, that's the house of entrepreneurship and publishing and media and travel. So if you're planning that great big trip, now is the time to start thinking about it. And if you have something in the works to be publishing something or where you want to explore in the world, this is your vision time on this new moon. And your full moon is in your 4th house, meaning anything contemplating in your home. Maybe you've been thinking about a move, or now's the time to put your house up for sale. Any changes of somebody possibly moving in, that might happen on this full moon. And your day of challenge is in your 10th house. That's your career, your goals. So Gemini, it's your day to pause and look at your career goals and how you're viewed in the world. That's the house of how people see you in the world. Cancer, your new moon is in your 8th house. That's all about your intimate relations. Could also be about your investments and shared resources. So if you're planning that with someone, now's the time to say, what does that look like in the next 6 months? And your full moon comes in your house of communications. Who have you been sharing ideas with? Have you been working on a project that could come to fruition? Or something in your community or your neighborhood that you could finally make happen? Now, your day of challenges is in your 9th house, and that's going to make you look at your belief system. What is your philosophy of life? How do you see yourself in the world? Are you down the path you want to be? Now, Leo's your new moon, 7th house, that's your committed relationships. So envision what you want in your long-term relationships, whether it be a marriage or a business partnership. What does that look like for you? And your full moon is in your 2nd house of money and values. So did you start something 6 months ago that could be bringing you some money now? Something coming in a different way, a new project? Or are you going to finally purchase something that you've been researching for the last 6 months? Now, your challenges on that Sun-Saturn conjunction, they're in your 8th house. So that's going to cause you to look at your closest relationships and your investments. Take a look if that's going down in the area that places you want to be. Now, Virgo, your new moon is about your health, your everyday life. What do you want your routines to be like over the next few months? Pay attention to a new health habit or get rid of one if you need to work on that. And the full moon, it's in your sign, Virgo. So what did you start 6 months ago? What have you been working on? Because now it could come to fruition for you. It's in your 1st house. It's how you are out in the world. And on your Sun-Saturn conjunction, it's in your 7th house, your most committed relationships. So that's a time for you to take a look at, are those really where you want them to be? Do you want to make that commitment, or do you need to make a change? Now, Libras, the new moon is in your 5th house. That's about romance, creativity, your talent. So it could be time for love. You need to get out and start to get things going in that house. But your talent's out there. Now, the full moon is in your 12th house. That's the house of healing and transitions. So inner work that you've been doing is going to come to fruition. So be sure to listen to your gut. Meditation would be great for you around that time, Libra. And your Sun-Saturn challenges, that's in your 6th house. So your daily life is calling you that day. Do you have a plan that you need to put into place for your everyday work-life balance or your health? Now, Scorpio, your new moon is in your 4th house. That's about home and family. So is it time to start planning a move, or you want to plan out a renovation or make some changes, or maybe you'll take in a roommate? And on the full moon, that's in your house of goals and dreams, your friends, associations. So look around you. There might have to be changes there to right-size you with the right people around you to move forward to what you want to accomplish. And the day of challenge is in your 5th house of romance. So you'll be thinking about if you want to make a commitment, if you want to move on, if you want to open yourself to new people in your life. Now, Sagittarius, the new moon, is in your house of communications and community, and think about plans in the next 6 months about who you want to connect with, what projects you might want to start, even locally in your neighborhood. And the full moon is in your house of career. So let's see what happens. Did you 6 months ago start working on changing jobs, or maybe planning to move within a company or get a promotion? It's what you've been working on, because that's what the full moon culminates. And the Sun-Saturn conjunction is in your 4th house. That's about your home. So if you're thinking about your living situation, does it need to change in some way? That day you're going to want to be thinking about anything you might want in that regard. Now, Capricorns, your new moon is in your 2nd house. That's money, values. You're thinking about where you could bring money in over the next 6 months. What's something new you could pursue? And your full moon is in your house of travel and new learning and studies. What do you want to work on to keep moving out in the world and experience new things? Maybe you want to take up a new course of learning. Now, your day of challenge, rather, is in your third house. So look at those projects you want to pursue. Start making your plans. Think it through very carefully and make sure you're looking at both sides and you can move forward. Now, Aquarius, the new moon, that's in your first house. Who do you want to be in the world this year? What do you want yourself to look like over the next 6 months? Sometimes people change how they look and their appearances when it's in your first house. Now, the full moon is in your eighth house. That's all about intimate relationships. So you might be making decisions then. Are you in or out? Do you want to make new shared investments with your partner? They may pay off on the full moon. Now, your day of challenge is in your house of money, so you might want to look at your finances. Good day to think about budgeting, changes you might want to make going forward. And Pisces, the new moon is in your 12th house. That's the unconscious. That's the hidden house. That's where you should be meditating, all your inner work. So you're feeling very close to your spiritual side on the new moon, Pisces. And the full moon is in your 7th house of committed relationships. So you may meet someone new, or you may decide to make a commitment or a business partnership. It's kind of, should I stay or should I go time? And your day of challenge is in your first house. What do you need to face about yourself so you can improve? What changes do you want to make as you go forward through the year? So we do have those times to pause, Sarah. It gives us times. Uranus gives us some time to pause, and the universe gives us energy so we could reconsider and make our changes. And then I guess when we don't do it, when we should, that's when the universe is going to kind of give us that little curveball.
Well,
but we got it all to handle it.
We've got a lot of curveballs coming up then for some people. But when we look at the way the planets are moving, and we take us past right now, if I were to ask you, if somebody needed to make changes in their life, and we know different people in different aspects of their homes, their spiritual homes, their houses, we understand that they're impacted. But what's your advice, general advice, astrologically speaking, because we really don't have any planets retrograde, correct?
Yet nothing that is affecting us as potently. Yeah, we don't have those energies affecting us now.
So when we move
Correct.
towards
we can move forward.
Yes. So what would your advice be for those in these next 2 months before we get hit with the planets starting to go retrograde? I know Mercury goes retrograde in April. There's some other planet. Is another planet going to be retrograde before Mercury retrograde, or is Mercury retrograde the kickoff of retrogrades?
Well, what I have in front of me at the moment, I don't have all those right dates, but we have a Mercury retrograde about every 3 months or so.
Right.
So we always have that. They're the ones that occur the most often, and they're the ones that affect us in our most daily life. Okay. We have very powerful out-of-planet energies affecting us all year that we know, and we see it happening around the world. But personally for us, it's always about staying true to our own truth. And we're always challenged with energies that look to divert us and challenge us. But it's all about us taking the time to stop and doing some introspection and understanding that we're each on our own personal journey. Not everybody else is surrounding you. And that things do happen for a reason. And we all know we have everything behind us so we can navigate it. Well, we're not here to fail, but we're here to learn and grow. And I always say we need to stick to following, as we talk about often. If you let your soul guide you, you can get through whatever energies come your way. And that's what the universe is forcing us to do, because when we can't explain what's happening and we feel like we're getting battered by Uranus or the curveballs, all we have is faith in our soul to know that we've been through this before and we've navigated this before and we're not alone. And we're each on our own journey, no matter what energies surround us. And that's the way we all have to learn to navigate. Don't you agree?
I do. I most certainly do. And when we look at life giving us curveballs, well, the curveballs you've been through, they brought you to where you are now as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I could do a whole Hall of Fame of curveballs, which is, I'm sure many of us feel, right?
Yes.
And, doing what you do, Sarah, and I talk to people all the time, and you're always amazed at what people survive and go through and how strong we all really are when we don't feel it.
Correct.
Everybody has in their chart a Chiron, which is, as you know, our wounded healer. We all have it because we all have events in our life to generate those curveballs so we can learn and grow. And when we forget that it's not all for the greater good, it gets scary and depressing. And we have to remember that we're just playing it all out here. And God has our back. And the planets have your back. And your angels have your back. And that's how we have to get through it. The planet energies of Neptune is thrown in front of us, so we can't always see things clearly. And it's there to force us to look inside because we all have the truth inside. Isn't the best place of knowledge our own soul?
That's where all the answers are. We just haven't been trained to look there. So we've got to all reprogram ourselves to drop down inside and listen to our heart and the promptings of our soul. Well, Stacie, we are really appreciative that you listened to the prompting of your soul and a little prodding from someone named Sarah Spiritual that said, Stacie, we need to take the show on the road, and we need to be doing astrology to many people in the world. And I thank you for following your soul's guidance so that you can connect with our listeners here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on the Oldie Station and sharing a little insight on astrology so that they can integrate it in their day-to-day life and be aware of the energetic influences that may be impacting them emotionally, spiritually, and even playing out in the physical and perhaps throwing them a curveball. We're really glad that you followed your soul. And for those of you listening, if you'd like to know more about Stacie, you can visit her website, destinyinthestars.com. There you'll find all her information and a way to contact her so that you can have your personal chart done and get some insight as to really what the planets have to say for you and how their influences have impacted you now and they may impact you in the future. There's always movement. Is that correct, Stacie? The planets are always moving, so nothing stays the same. That's the only constant, that there's always change, correct?
Yes, and you taught me that a very long time ago. And I just do want your listeners to know that you were my curveball for sure. Because when you got me to start doing this, that was a total curveball to me. So how many years have I been thanking you for that curveball? So
Right.
There you go, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Yes, keep on trucking, everybody. It's all there for our greater good. Just remember that, and then you'll be able to navigate your way. And thank you, Sarah. I love being here with you.
Thank you. We love having you, Stacie. We'll see you next month, right after the show of challenges, and we'll see what's going on for our fabulous month of March. So thank you so much, Stacie. Again, everyone, go to destinyinthestars.com. Schedule your session with Stacie. It'll be an eye-opener, and you really want to see what the planets have to say for you. Thank you so much, Stacie. Have a great night, and we send our love to you and healing energy. I know your mom just had a procedure, so we send you that healing energy for your mom as well.
Oh, thank you so much. She's doing great. She felt your energy, and we'll see you again next month. Thanks again.
Bye for now. Bye. 866-972-7247. If you're on hold, don't you go anywhere. And if you haven't picked up the phone, I'd love to talk to you before the show ends. 866-972-7247. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? story, like a movie playing.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice?
And we are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. Have you seen me? Do you know me? I am Sarah Spiritual, and we're answering your questions all across the nation at 866-972-7247. If you'd like a personal session with me, Sarah Spiritual, you can go to sarahspiritual.com. There you'll find out the different types of sessions that I offer, but most favorite is the general session where we tune in and we see what life's telling you and what's going on and how to navigate. And we talk to your guides and your angels, and we bring a little bit of everything in our general session. So it's always a fun session, a great place to start. So go to Sarah Spiritual if you'd like to connect with me personally. We can do that via phone. We can do it via video. Or you can come to my Expedito Enlightenment Center at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm Beach in South Florida. So if you're thinking of visiting South Florida this spring, visit my website, make a reservation. We would love to have you sit with me for a personal session. There is a little bit of a wait, so if you are expecting to be read in a day or two, That's not really going to happen unless we put you on the wait list and something opens up. But we know that Spirit always delivers the message at the perfect time. So I'd love an opportunity to sit across from you or to connect with you via phone or video. So again, go to sarahspiritual.com. We're going to go back to our phone lines. We've got to go to Sharon. Now, Sharon, she's been on hold, so I'm greatly appreciative of her holding. And Sharon is in New York. Sharon, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah.
Good to connect with you, Sharon. Thank you so much for holding.
Yes, I just want to let you know, first of all, I was so amazed with your, what your, like when you discuss about your curveball, what you went through, it inspired me so much.
Well, I'm
So
glad.
I'm so grateful
Yes.
to hear what you went through.
Yes, and that's only the tip of the iceberg of things that happened to get me here. But that was step one on the path, right? And
Yes.
life has a way of
yes.
happening to us, right? And sometimes we feel like things are happening against us. And I know you've been in that place too, Sharon. So what's your question for us tonight?
I'm in that place.
I know.
That place. I'm still going through the stuff with my daughter. She's in the hospital at this time.
Yes.
So she's in the hospital again after, hearing that she had cancer, but now she's back in the hospital again for like the last, but God is good. She was in ICU, now she's out of ICU, so she's back on the regular floor. So thank God for that.
Yes, she got into a weakened state, my guides are telling me, yes? And it was like she was fighting something else off at the same time. Is that true?
If she was what?
She was like fighting off something else at the same time as her cancer. She got weakened.
Yes.
So they're showing me that, and yes, so now the infection has been neutralized, so to speak, and so now we can kind of build back up her immunity and her system so she can continue.
Yes.
What is your daughter's birthday again, please?
It's 12/18/96.
So when I look at this energy, your daughter's a strong girl. And she got a curveball too.
Oh, yes, she is.
And she's strong, and she's not really letting this get to her. She's really working on overcoming this. She is really looking to transform herself. And she's also looking at other ways to combat this. She's not just taking what the doctors have to say. Is that true?
But she's disabled, so we don't know what's going on in her head.
Yeah.
She's totally disabled. But she's a fighter. She is a fighter. She's definitely a fighter.
Yeah, she's working on other ways to combat this here. And have we gone and connected with some alternative solutions for her?
Yes, well, I spoke to someone. So once she gets better, she will go back to see that doctor.
Good.
Yeah, she's going to like a cancer specialist, yes.
Perfect. Because I feel like we don't quite have the right person on the case yet. And that's what we need.
Okay.
So when we get connected to this doctor and we go to that individual, we need to just make sure that we've got all the right steps to help along the way, all right?
Yes. Okay, my next question is, I'm going to be 65 years old tomorrow. So I'm trying to figure out, because I'm just looking for love. I'm looking for, so I know this guy that I've been talking to for like the last 2 years. I just want to know, is it going anywhere? Because sometimes I don't feel like it's going anywhere.
Well, first of all, very happy birthday. This birthday is a significant birthday for you, Sharon. It is a birthday that brings a lot of change for you. It is a birthday that shifts your energy and really begins a pattern of energy for the next 18 years. So that's a long span of time. So we are clearing out the old. And when I take you back, I've really got to go back in the storyline they take me to two markers. They take me to 2014, and then they take me to 2005. So we're going to go to 2005 first. Feel like a detective.
Yes.
Where were you in the night of question? but in 2005, Sharon.
2005?
Yes.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
Well,
to be honest with you,
my guides make me feel as if 2005 was a time of challenge for you. And I feel like there was a move for you. Then when I take you to 2014 into 15, were we in a relationship at that time? Was there a problematic relationship at that time, Sharon?
Yes.
That wasn't too fun, was it?
And I divorced. Yes, and I divorced. Yeah, I divorced after that. Yes.
Okay. So
a few years later.
That was your clue here to kind of clear up your energy, right? And that felt like a bit of a curveball as well. But look how freeing it was. So when we move you forward in this 2024, as the year progresses, there will be your share of challenges. What you're going through with your daughter is one of them. But as we move you through the year, then we open up the doors for new beginnings, fresh starts, and love. Now, the individual that we are with, goodness gracious, complicated, non-committal, not as communicative as we would like them to be. So sometimes we feel like we're on the outside looking in our very own relationship. Is that true?
Absolutely.
All right. So hear what Spirit's saying. We know what we went through in 14, 15, 16, and 17 of 20s, right? Do we want to wait for someone to get their act together because of the potential? Or do we want to ask the universe to clear energy so we can have someone who's going to show up for us in the way we desire? That is your free will choice.
I would like to ask the universe to clear the energy.
Okay. Well, technically you just did, right? So even though this individual has been a companion, has been a friend, it's not the vibrational match that you're worthy of. And I don't mean that you're greater than and he's lesser than. It's just not a fit. Because there's something about this individual, my guides tell me, that you don't even know that you trust. Is this true?
Well, I do trust him. It's just that he's just not. You want me to give you a date of birth?
You can, yes.
Yeah, so it's 2/16/69.
Okay. But you don't always know everything that's going on with him. And you don't always know.
Excuse me?
You don't always know what's going on with him. And you don't always know what's going on in his thoughts because he doesn't always share. He's not as clearly spoken and transparent as you are. That's something we have to pay attention to.
He tells me everything, but I don't really know, he could be lying, I don't know. You don't know what goes on in people's head. I can't figure that out.
Oh, you can't, but I can. We're asking
you
Spirit.
Can. Exactly.
Okay, remember that. When we ask Spirit, right?
You're right.
Because sometimes when I ask my own self, I'm like, well, I failed me miserably. Thank God Spirit talked to me. So as humans, we need to look at this person as, is this the person 20 years from now we want to be with and we believe that they will be with us and they'll be the right fit for us? If you're in a wobble and the answer is no, then we need to look at that. And I want you to ask the universe to lead this relationship down the path for the highest good of both of you. I do feel that that the two of you are of complementary in ways to each other, and I feel that you both are helping each other at this time. And I feel that the relationship has some synergy. I don't see this as your person. You have to choose, but I don't see this as your person for the long haul.
Okay. I agree with you.
So just ask the universe to let it settle out the way it's meant to settle out. We don't need anything crazy, but when you get the nudge, hear what I'm about to say, because this is what they said. They said, when she gets the nudge, just tell her to be done. When that feeling comes over, don't pull for yourself what you did in 2014, 15, and 16. Don't stay in there longer than you need to. When that push comes to say, oh, it's done, you need to go.
Yes, yes, I agree.
All right.
I agree. Thank
Well,
you
Sharon,
so
we're
much.
going to send
Thank
the
you so much,
angels.
Sarah.
We're sending the angels to your daughter.
God
We're going to
bless
ask for
you.
divine healing. We're going to ask that they bless your daughter.
Yes.
And happy birthday
Yes.
to you. Happy birthday to
Thank
you.
you.
Happy birthday, dear Sharon. Happy birthday to you. We wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. God
Bye
bless
for
you.
now. God bless you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. Well, from New York, I got to go to the other side of the country. I got to go to the West Coast. I got California on the line. We've got Dee. Dee, how are you?
Hey, Sarah.
Good to connect with you, Dee. How's everything going?
Well, good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Good to reconnect. We definitely are looking forward to your questioning for this evening. What's your question for us?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of curveballs, and
you are the king of curveballs, honey.
A lot of it. So right now everything is great, and I felt it coming, and all of a sudden I'm looking for my next opportunity for income. So that's my question.
Okay. So interestingly enough, this year really represents really connecting and networking with people, really branching out of the group of people you know, the tribe that you know, really trying to find a better alignment for you. I don't feel like a lot of the jobs that you've had, your employment has really been worth it for you. I feel as if it was something to take up time and provide income, but nothing was really lining up with who you are. And we now need to find a job that not only sustains you, but also aligns with you and fulfills you. And that is the journey. Now, my guides are talking to me about writing and journaling. Have you been journaling?
I'm just in the beginning of that now, actually.
Really? What a surprise. This is where we're going to find our answers. Not just the answer about a job, because a job will come. A job will come, Dee, and things will line up for you. I feel like there'll be a little span of time where it's going to take time to make the right connection, to get the right opportunity, time being a bit of an illusion, but in the next few weeks you should be feeling a little more settled. But writing is going to help you discover the reason for the curveballs and the journey so that we can be on the path to the destination that's the divine destination. We keep seeming to find ourselves on the detour road. And somehow we kind of get a little off course, which everyone listening, let me tell you that off course is never off course because all roads lead to the road that we're meant to be on. But there's an easier way, Dee. And we encourage you to journal because that's going to give you the inspiration and the ideas for you to be the assistant to others. And how are you going to express that, and what are you going to do? And then how do we generate revenue and create a flow that is able to support us in the day-to-day activities of living life? This is where we are going. So it's really not just about a job, although the job will be necessary for a time. It's really about finding the level of connection with the divine so that we can find the level of action we're supposed to be expressing in the spiritual and physical senses. So there is a major transformative time that's going to come for you in this kind of creative space that you're going to be in and over these next 2 months. You're going to be very creative. You may have an idea, a project you want to do, a product you want to make, something that you may want to talk about one day or write about in a book. These will be times for you to really kind of step into it. And it's also going to be a time, even though we're kind of focused on things that are very practical right now, it's also going to be a time for romance coming. And this is going to be some way to connect in a form of love that leads to partnership. So we want to be open to the new people we're meeting, the new communities that we're connecting with. And the job search needs to be one that is going to lead to fulfillment. So the wobble that you're in, this moment of not really knowing where we're going, is temporary. They want you to keep writing and build from that journal where you're going to take yourself next. I hope I've been of some help to you tonight, Dee. We're getting ready to come to the close of the show. I know you were holding, and we greatly appreciate your being on hold, and we appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
No, it's been an incredible show from start to end, and been really in sync with however my journey has been so far. So it's really opened up a new perspective of how to just basically master whatever thoughts that come through and everything, like from psychic attacks or wherever you think you're trying to kind of get used to. So, it's a lot, but it's a great journey.
It's
and
always
really
a great journey. Always a great journey in the end. Yes. Yes. And be sure to take our energy class. Sounds like it's something you could use. And, I hear this song, things look swell, things look great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses. So we're going to see those roses. Spring will be coming soon. And Dee, you're going to take flight. This is meant to be a really solid, good year. And the connections you make this year are really going to catapult you in 2025. So look forward to that and shield yourself in the meantime. Pleasure talking to you. Good night and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Well, it's been a pleasure connecting with you. Visit sarahspiritual.com to book your session or learn more about my classes. Love to see you here at our live radio show, February 28th, right here in our Boca studio. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests,